So again, we have 3 commitments for everyone who's involved. 1, for you in the audience, you show up, you get value, you take steps in the right direction to become your greatest possible self because of your time invested here today with us. Number 2, each of the special guests makes a meaningful difference in at least one person's life, most likely many, many more, and it all starts with one step at a time, one life at a time. We're never too good for one person to impact at a time. And then outcome number 3 is that I make a meaningful difference in at least one person's life throughout these 12 hours. I'm 100% sure I've already done that, so I give myself a round of applause. Woohoo! Yes, feels so good to celebrate yourself. Do it more often. Oh my gosh, if everyone celebrated themselves in the world in not an egotistical, because it's coming from a place of fear kind of way, oh my gosh, the world would be so much of a better place. Anywho, let's keep on moving on. This interview is brought to you by Burn Up Coaching and the 21-Day Challenge. If you're an entrepreneur or a high achiever, you're feeling stuck and you really want to transform your results fast, you want to get clarity on your purpose, you want to bring that fire back to your life, the self-belief, the passion, and you want to accomplish your top goal in 21 days, you want to have daily support, daily accountability, and check-ins, then the 21-Day Challenge is for you. If you're interested in committing to your 21-Day Challenge goal, getting clear on your purpose, dialing in your habits, all that good stuff, send me a message, chris@beyourgps.com. Look forward to talking to you, and you can also send me a message on Facebook if that works for you as well. Next is the iTunes review of the week, and this week it's by Melissa C. And Melissa says, enthusiasm and energy. This guy has enough energy to spare, and it helps me feel spunky and enthusiastic again. Yay! Awesome, Melissa. Thank you so much for that review. If you want to give us a review, go ahead and go to beyourgps.com/iTunes. You can give us a review there, or you can search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes store and give us a review there, or search it on Facebook and give us a review there. Whichever is your preferred place of reviewing, we appreciate it. Thanks so much in advance for doing that. Now, this woman is a Las Vegas native, and she is an absolute powerhouse. I first saw her videos on Facebook with her best friend or partner, this person who she's doing business with and creating amazing content with. Such an incredible video, and I was inspired. I was like, I got to have this person on my show. We got to talk. We got to make it happen. And I'm going to be moving out to Vegas early next year, so I'm so super excited about that. So you definitely want to stay tuned throughout this entire interview, because Candice is going to be bringing the heat for you to help you grow, to help you expand in your business, in your mindset, and to be able to be your greatest possible self. So stay through all the way till the end, and also pull out a pad of paper, pull out a pen, take notes on your phone, whatever it takes, because I truly believe that in life, everything can change and transform in an instant. The question is, are you willing to make that choice and that decision to create the life of your dreams, okay? So let's introduce Candice, and then we'll bring her onto the screen and the interview. Candice Morales has been guiding and teaching people for over 15 years, and she spent the first 10 years of her career in Los Angeles cultivating the fierce belief that everyone has a right and the ability to be the best version of themselves. Heck yes! Her clients trust her skills and experience in helping them set goals and execute a life that brings them joy and fulfillment. In both individual and group sessions, she creates a supportive, caring, and purposeful environment and exudes the belief that everyone can and will maintain a focus on getting results. She currently resides in Las Vegas, where she coaches solopreneurs to change the narrative in their own lives, travels as much as possible, and spends time with friends who have become family. And she's here today to bless us with her wisdom and knowledge and experience. Candice, you ready to rock this?
I'm ready.
She's ready. All right, we're doing it. Let's go. Let's go. You're now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Thanks so much for showing up today and dedicating your time and your wisdom to help us grow into our best selves with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate it. I'm always the one doing the interviewing. It's funny to be on the other side.
Yes, it's so much fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So we're diving right into the question and the theme of the day, which today is a purpose worth dying for. So Candice, how does this principle of being willing to do whatever it takes, as long as it takes, being willing to, give your full life force to a purpose, a cause, something you believe in, how has that showed up in your life?
Oh gosh, it's showed up over and over again. I think that, I always knew that I wanted to help people. And when I
Mm.
was a kid, I thought that meant I was going to be a teacher. And I was a teacher for a long time. I taught for 7 years.
Ah.
And I knew that whatever I would do was going to like add value to people's lives.
Mhm.
And at the time, like teaching seemed like that was the thing I knew, right? I
Mhm.
knew good teachers had an impact on people. And so I wanted to do that. And I did, and I loved it. But some of the daily grind part of teaching was just like not
Mm.
vibing with me anymore. I
Mm-mm.
gained 30 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. I was going to grad school, like getting my master's degree because, you got to do anything to make that extra money as a teacher. And, I gained a lot of weight and I just like wasn't happy anymore. I was just
Mm.
working all the time. I had 200 and something students each year and it was just exhausting.
Yeah.
I knew I was making an impact, but the way that I was making an impact was maybe different than I had imagined.
Mm.
Because it wasn't about like my students' grades. It was really about getting to know what their passion is and what excites them, and helping them to believe that that was something that they could achieve for themselves.
Mm.
And so I transitioned from that to coaching teachers. So I help teachers get the results in the classrooms, make connections with their students, like
Yeah.
build good relationships with the families and things like that. And I think all of that really mattered. And while I was doing that, I realized like I can I can coach anyone. They don't have to be a
Mm.
teacher. Like anyone can use this. Like all the things that I'm doing, like backwards planning to a goal, right? Like that is
Mm.
something that everyone needs.
Totally.
And maybe everyone doesn't have that support in outside of this, area or this field. And so I started coaching teachers like on the side about personal issues. They'd be like, "Hey, I know we're working on school stuff, but I have this thing and I think you can help." And so, I started doing that and it was my side hustle and I was just helping them out with like maybe fitness because I had, I told you I gained all that weight and I,
Mm.
1 year just committed to like I don't want to be this person anymore and I
Mm.
I lost it. I was also in a lot of debt. I had like $15,000 of credit card debt.
Mm.
And I was just like, okay, I don't, like let me take care of that too. And so I just like really transformed my life in a year and people started asking me, how'd you do that? And how'd you do that?
Mm.
And so little by little, I'd like take on a client here and there. And I thought it was just like, oh, cool, a little extra side hustle money. Maybe I'll fly to San Francisco for the weekend, like not
Mm.
thinking anything of it. And 2 years later, I just felt like my job was just getting painful. Like
Mm.
I was starting to dread going to work because I just felt like my values were misaligned after a
Mm.
while, right?
Yeah.
Because there was something that I knew that people needed that my job wasn't giving me the space to provide.
No.
And, the more I spoke up about it, the more my job was difficult with my managers and just, things were just not aligning.
Mm.
And I felt called to make a change. And
Mm.
so, I started to take my side hustle a little bit more seriously,
Mhm.
asking for referrals, just like small steps.
Mm.
And I started making some money and I was like, maybe I could really do this full time. Maybe that's like a real thing. And my friends and my clients were like, absolutely, you definitely can do this.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
still had fear and I was still super scared.
Mm.
I had a good job. It was nice and cushy. I made my own schedule. Like I made good money. There was nothing
Mm.
really wrong with it except that my values weren't aligned, and that's
Mm.
everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I made a vision board as I do every year. And on my vision board, I had a lion to remind myself to be courageous. And I
Mm.
had the word blossom amongst some other things. And it was so funny. I was hosting an event with Corey. You talked about Corey, my
Uh-huh.
best friend, my business
Uh-huh.
partner. We do Writing with Corey and Candice together. If you haven't watched an interview, you should definitely hop on and watch an interview there.
Yes.
But she and I were hosting an event, and we met this woman at the event.
Mhm.
She comes up to me and she's like, Candice, you guys have something amazing here. Like, there's something magical here. You guys got to do more. Like, more people need to know about this. I was
Mm.
like, wow, I just met you, lady, and you're telling me all this stuff. And she's like, oh, I live right down the street. Actually, I was like, oh, me too. Turns out we're neighbors. Okay. So it was so funny. Her name is Suchi, and Suchi was like, like you look like you go to the gym or something. I was like, oh yeah, I go down here, go to the gym, I go to yoga too, whatever. She's like, I love yoga. I'd love to go with you one day. It's like, all
Wow.
right, well, I'm going tomorrow. So I pick up Suchi next door. She hops in my car. Second day I've ever seen her, and she's like, I just feel like you're really holding yourself back, Candice. I'm like, okay, cool.
Dang.
Right? Cool. Just like go in, right? And so we're driving. So it's a kind of a drive for Vegas. 25 minutes is a drive.
Mhm.
So we're driving, we get there, and she's like, I just feel like you're holding yourself back. I don't know. I hope that this isn't intruding, but I feel like I have to tell you this. And so we go to yoga, we come out, we're driving back in the car. I was getting a little nervous because I was like, I don't know what she's going to tell me this time.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, Candice, I just really think that this is your time to blossom.
Wow.
That was such a weird word because that's the word on my vision board. And who says that, right? Like, it's your time to blossom.
Right.
And so I was just like, I got the chills. I told her, and she was like, oh, me too. We both got the chills. We're like, that's so strange. A few days after that, I get a phone call. And one of my excuses to not leave my job and leave my day job and pursue coaching full time was I didn't have an office space and I couldn't afford one, right? So I get a call a couple days after Suchi told me I'm holding myself back and I need to blossom. And the call is from a woman who is like, we know about Vegas Women Connect. We know about Writing with Corey and Candice. We appreciate the work that you're doing with women in our community. We're opening an all-women's co-working space in Las Vegas, and we'd love for you to just come down and check it out. We're opening next month. We just want you to come see it. We can talk about it. Okay, so Corey and I are kind of excited, like, cool, co-working space, that sounds awesome. We can tell all our people about it, right? So we go, and it's beautiful. I'm sitting in it right now. This is Bloom.
Awesome.
So we check out Bloom and we're like, the space is beautiful. It's exactly what Las Vegas needs. Like, we're all about changing the narrative around what it means to be a woman here. And this place is a place to gather those women on a daily basis, And they're like, well, we want to give you this space for free for 3 months. And all we want you to do is just tell your network about it. We're like, yeah, we can definitely tell our network about this amazing space.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that story, I tell that story all the time because I think that, it was God saying, or the universe, whatever you want to call it, to me, I say God. It was God saying, like, yeah, Candice, be courageous. I'm giving you all these things. You said that this is what you want. And I let Suchi come and tell you that, yes, it's your time to blossom. You get this call that Bloom is opening and you get to use that space for free. So stop using the excuse that you can afford it. And here's a beautiful space to meet your clients. Like, what else do you need, Candice? Now it's on you, right? Now you need to take action.
Yeah.
And what I get to do every day is work with solopreneurs who, don't think it's possible for them, and share my story and help them to see that it is possible. And when you put it out there and when you align your actions with what you actually want, and you're standing in your truth and you know your values and you have a mission, like, the universe conspires to support you.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you shared a ton of gold in there. I'm so curious, like, at the beginning of your journey, you were selling people into your coaching as a side hustle. A lot of people in their coaching or service-based business have a real challenge when it comes to generating leads and making sales. How do you feel like you overcame those challenges in the beginning, and especially, moving forward into your coaching practice?
Yeah, for me, it just happened very authentically. My clients, I would ask for referrals, which is something that I'm always surprised that people don't ask for. Like, at the end of our time together, your life has changed, you're feeling great. Can you tell a friend? Like, that seems so simple, right? And a lot of people don't even ask for that. So that's like one simple thing they could do. Ask for a referral after you get a client, ask for 5, and so that's one thing. I think that also positioning myself as a leader in the community through my Facebook Lives and through the events that I was hosting, like, I had a network of women who believed in Corey and Candice, right? At the time, it was like, us together, what we did for women, what we thought about changing the narrative, what we believed was possible for women in Las Vegas. So we had a vision for that, and people knew it, and they felt aligned with it. So then when I offer another service, I'm already a trusted partner in their life, right? Yeah. And so when I'm offering another service, it's not shocking or scary. They already trust me. And so I feel like that has really allowed me to thrive in my first year as this is my first full-time year. So 11 months in, I've been able to do this well and feel really good about it. And I'm obviously continuously growing, but I think, like, assessing your current network and positioning yourself as a leader in your community are huge. And I don't think that a lot of people are starting there. They're, like, going immediately to the internet. Then we
Yeah.
buy a Facebook ad, but you don't even know who your ideal client is yet.
Nope.
You don't even have a mission statement yet. So
Nope.
whatever you're going to say on there is not going to sound aligned because
Right.
you don't even have a plan.
Wow. And like, no, there's a lot of elements that go into it. The message, the track record, the, testimonials, there's
Yep.
all these kind of like levers that have to be pulled or moved in people's minds to say, yeah, I'm willing to fork up, 200, 500, 1,000, $5,000, whatever the number is, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
and I think when we're in person, that is just such a great way to say, hey, here's what I do. And if people have questions, then like, it's so much harder to get rid of a body, a physical person than it is to keep scrolling, like scrolling's easy, like saying, not this time or whatever, I'm not interested. But if you're having a conversation with someone, that's like a real way to just show up and serve and be like, hey, what's your problem? What's your challenge? Well, I can do this, this, and this. Like, would that help you? Okay, cool. Let's make a deal, and it's like, it's so much more organic that way.
Yes, and it's huge. And you would be surprised at how many people are just afraid to share what they do. I work with a studio owner, so she owns a fitness studio, and she just needs like to meet her goals. It's a small studio. She needs 25 clients like on a regular basis, right?
Right.
And she had 10 for a year, and she couldn't get past that.
Wow.
In 3 months working together, we got her to her goal. And she was like, this is incredible. Like, this is crazy. And I was like, all you're doing differently is talking about your studio when you're out in the world. But you're afraid to even share that you're doing this because you feel salesy. And, like, get rid of that negative connotation that you're feeling salesy and think about what is your actual mission. She's like, well, I care about people's health and well-being overall. Like, I want them to feel happy and I want them to feel like they're part of a community that cares about them. Like, okay, well, what is salesy about that? Don't people want that? Like, why would that not be something that you would share with everyone? Right? Hey, I want you to be part of this community who cares about you as a whole person, right? It's not just about weight loss. It's about being supported. Right. Like, that's an amazing message, get over the thing in your head that says that you're being shady in some way.
Yeah.
It's not that.
I heard an amazing statement from, it's probably been said before, but I heard it from Ed Milet. He's a pretty big, he's like wealthy guy. Anyways, so he said that if you knew the solution to cancer, if you knew something that would help people, overcome cancer, heal from cancer, like you wouldn't give a crap what people thought about what you're doing. If you're sharing it, like, and you believe in it and it works, you're going to share it like far and wide, and screw what anyone thinks. Screw if they say, man, you're being too salesy, you're too passionate about this. It's like, bro, I got a cure for freaking cancer. Like, it's going to change the world. It's going to change these people's lives. And people get to step into that with their own products and services as entrepreneurs, as solopreneurs, because like, it's so essential that we believe in what we're doing, because if we don't believe in it, nobody's going to believe in it for us. So it's that core level that we have to start with. And I think that's one kind of comparison to make in our mind. If we had the solution to cancer, that's like, we would go out and share it everywhere. How can we like really believe in what we have to offer and what we have? You mentioned mission before. Like, how can we really tap into that mission?
I'm always surprised how many people don't have a mission, like have not sat down and said, this is what I do and this is why I do it. And I think that a good mission comes down to that. This is what I do and this is why I do it. I help solopreneurs in year 0 to 2 of their business to sustain and grow and get results that they want. That's what I do, and that's why I do it, right? And I think getting really clear on what that mission is and writing it down and saying it over and over again and experiencing with your clients what that feels like and what that looks like and the meaning that it brings to their life will only allow you to be able to say that over and over again with like confidence and enthusiasm. But if you are just like, if you're doing anything out of fear, lack, or scarcity, like, oh my gosh, I just need a client, like, it's not going to be a good experience for anyone.
Nope.
But if you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you know the value add, then it's going to be a great experience for everyone. Yeah. For yourself as a coach and for the client as well. And for their family and their friends and their loved ones, because they're going to be more energized, they're going to be more focused, they're going to be getting the results they want. They're maybe not going to be nagging at home as much because they have the coach to come talk to about the crappy stuff, right? And they can go home a little bit more clear and focused and be able to spend more time with their family and loved ones. So for me, it really is about starting with your mission, starting with your values, and making sure that the business that you do is always in alignment with those things. One thing that also happens that I see a lot is people get distracted by other opportunities, right? Like, okay, yes, I know I really want to do this coaching business, but so and so says I can make a little bit of money over here doing this, and I can make a little money over here doing that. And I don't mind making a little bit of money. I'm always about making money.
Right.
I always tell people you can make excuses or you can make money, but you can't make both, right? So I'm about making money. But if the opportunity is not in alignment with your mission or your values, then it's just a no. And it's an easy decision to make.
Yeah.
But most people say yes because they're scared, but they're scared because they don't have the foundation of what they need in their own business. And so they get distracted by all these other things because I can make $1,000 doing this and $2,000 doing that. And then your business is on the back burner.
Wow.
And so how do you put your business at the forefront and say, this is what I do and why I do it? And I'm saying yes to opportunities that allow me to do that and no to everything else.
Dang. That's so powerful. And I hear like getting clear on what are your values, what's your vision, what do you want your life to look for, like to look like and to mean, what's the legacy that we want to leave. And of course that evolves over time. But right now what we can do is we can create a snapshot, we can create an idea, we can create, a projection and then refine from there. But what I really love is when people are making decisions, like big decisions on should I do this business or not, like ask yourself, does this fit into my overall vision and does it align with my values? Because if it's not like a heck yes, then it's a heck no,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Man, that's powerful. So in terms of like getting aligned with that vision, and we talked, the title was about getting aligned with your body and your mind and your spirit as the foundation of your business. Tell us a little bit about that, why that's important to be able to succeed in business, especially as a solopreneur.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a story because that's what we do. Okay. A storyteller. So I, in April, did my taxes. And so it was like 4 months in as a solopreneur full time. Wow. And I did my taxes for last year, and I, got an email with like everything. And I remember I looked at my phone. I was in the parking lot in the grocery store, looked at my phone, and I was like, wow, I made so much money last year. Yeah. Right. And I'm in month 4 of my business, and the struggle is real sometimes. And sometimes it's not, right? It's one of those like, great, it's not great.
Totally.
It's not great. And so I remember sitting in my car crying, just bawling my eyes out, saying like, why did I leave my job? What the heck was I thinking? Okay. Like I was the boss. I made my own schedule, like all these things, right? Yeah. I made all this money and I still wasn't satisfied. What's wrong with me? And so I'm just in the car crying because, where else do you cry? And and I was like, okay, like get yourself together, Candice. What's going on? What's really happening here? What's really happening is I'm scared that, I'm not worth it, that someone's not going to invest in me and my business or trust that what I have to offer is worth it. And like worthiness is the basis of everything, right? And so I was like, wow, like I actually think I'm not worth it. And that's why I'm crying in the car right now. And so I was thinking about like, what are you not doing right now, Candice? What are you not doing? And I was like, well, I'm not meditating anymore. I'm not going to yoga. I don't go to the gym. Why? Because I have to make money. Making money takes all this time, right? And I have to be like on the phone or checking emails or whatever, all the non-income generating things that you can do. That's what I was doing. and I was not taking any time for myself, and I knew better. And I go through spurts, right? And so I was like, okay, I'm not taking any time for my well-being, and I need to take my time back. And it doesn't matter if I work, if I take 2 hours a day to work on my body, mind, and my spirit. It's like, that's okay. That's going to add value to my business. And so I just decided, I was like, I'm not going to do this to myself anymore. If I get to work at 11, no big deal. Like, it's fine, right? And so I'd go home, and that same night, I don't even think I went to the grocery store. I was like cleaning myself up in the car, mascara everywhere. It was a mess. I get home and I just so happened to get pictures from an event that I had hosted before.
Uh-huh.
And the pictures, I was like, oh, girl, your hair is so grown out, right? Like roots to here, I just look terrible. And of course, I was like, scarcity mindset. I don't have money to be spending on my hair, but I felt really shitty about it. And so, can I cuss on here? I didn't even ask. Sorry. Okay. so, so I was just like, okay, I'm not going to live in fear, lack, and scarcity. And me not working out and me not taking time for myself was because I didn't believe that I was going to get paid. Right. And so I would cut all that out of my life so I can make money. And so I was just like, no, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to be able to do this. Like, I'm going to make my appointment. So I called up Jenna. I was like, girl, I need an appointment this week, make it happen. She got me one. And I was like, all right, well, now the money's going to come because I told the universe I'm serious. I'm going to take care of myself. I've made this decision. Yeah. And so the next day I went to yoga. I did my meditation. I like set up my little area. I was like, I'm going to do this every day. I wrote it in my planner. Like, I'm getting serious about taking care of myself because when my energy is fear, lack, and scarcity, my clients feel it, right? She is desperate to get me as a sale and she's just trying to make some money. And like, who wants to work with someone like that? No one. And so when I have good energy and I feel good about myself, they're like, I want to be around that girl.
Yes.
I know where that comes from. That comes from taking care of my body. Comes from taking care of my mind and my spirit. And so I have to commit to that because that is the foundation of people wanting to do business with me, is that I feel good, I look well, I take care of myself, I don't look disheveled because I'm frantic all the time. And so I just decided to change my life that day. So the next day I get a email from someone who I had met with 2 months prior. And she was like, Candice, I wasn't ready at the time, but I think I'm ready now. Let's do this. Like, wait, what? Okay. And before I got to my appointment, I had 2 new clients, which is all I needed. And I sat in the chair and I was telling Jenna the story because I'm a storyteller. I was like, girl, this is what happened. I was crying in the parking lot at Smith's and I have mascara everywhere. I didn't buy my groceries, but this happened. And she was just like, oh my gosh, girl, you and your manifesting stories, you're so crazy. And then ding, my phone. And I was like, look, it was a 3rd client who texted me and she was like, we met last month and I wasn't ready, but I'm ready. And I was like, oh, yeah. And so I just really believe that when your energy is right, when you are literally taking care of yourself, people are attracted to that. Yeah. And when you are frantic and scared and everywhere, you repel people. And that's not what you want to do as a coach, in any business, actually. No. You know?
Yeah. So it's like really the alignment came when you said, I'm more committed to taking care of myself and doing the things that have me feel good and feel, fulfilled, especially, if you're not feeling like you look particularly beautiful, or if you're not feeling like you look particularly in shape. It's like, hey, how can I recommit to myself that I'm taking care of myself? And so you took an action, you made a decision. Hey, I'm gonna schedule this appointment, and I know everything will work out because I will feel amazing after I do this. And like just in that process of making the decision, things started coming into your reality that validated, hey, you're on the right track. Keep taking care of yourself.
Yeah, for me, I always make more money. Always when I am doing things to take care of myself, even if it's a weekend away. I went away to San Diego for a whole week in the summer, which is like, a kind of a long time for a new business owner to just be like, I'm going to check out. And I literally checked out for a whole week. I did nothing. I laid on the beach every single day. It was incredible. And finally the day before I was coming home, I just opened up my email and I got a new client.
Wow.
Like, thank you, God. I see this. And every time I take care of myself, every time I show up for myself, I am rewarded. Yeah. And that's what I teach people to do as well. Show up for yourself. Always show up for yourself first. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't run your business. It's not how it works. It's like lifting weights every day, but eating McDonald's. It's just counterproductive. And you have to commit your time to taking care of yourself.
Yeah, and I'm curious. Like, it sounds like these clients are like popping out of thin air for
Well,
you.
I have a lot of consultations. Like,
that's, what,
yeah,
that's what I was
yeah,
gonna say. I was gonna say like, what is the step right before that? That
yeah,
you're also planting seeds in a lot of
always.
ways with conversations and with
Yes,
consultations.
yes. So I ask people. I say like, would you like to come in for a consultation? I ask
Mhm.
people that all the time. It's free. Or sometimes I just call it like a free clarity session. So I make sure
Mhm.
that they get value. It's not just a consultation about like, what if you worked with me? Like I make sure that they walk away, even if they don't work with me, they walk away with some good value that
Right.
they feel like they can implement right away.
Mhm.
And so I always ask people, like, do you want to come in for that? So I steadily have people coming in, and I follow up with them. Let them know like, hey, I would like to work with you. This is what it'll look like. And I send an email. I send Facebook messages. I keep tabs on their life in a way, like
Yeah.
not in a creepy way, but like
Yeah.
I know what's going on in their life, right? Like, oh, you got a promotion. That's awesome. Send them a little message. Like
Mm.
they always know that Candice is there to support them, whatever way that is.
Mm.
And maybe one day they'll work with me, or maybe they'll send a friend. But either way, they're going to have a great experience with me. So I
Mm.
think that's super key. There's never any negative energy, or if someone is not ready for it or doesn't seem like a good fit,
Mm.
like I am still there to support them. So I show up for them still in whatever way I can. I invite them to events. I congratulate them when stuff is happening great in their life. I ask them if they need a friend if something is not so great.
Mm.
So I'm make sure that people know that they can count on me. And so sometimes, it takes 6 months. I knew this woman for 2 years before she hired me. She came to all of my events. I knew she would be a great client for me, but she just wasn't ready and wasn't ready. Finally, one of her friends was my client, and her friend convinced her to be my client. And now she's doing great.
Wow.
But so that 2 years is a really long time, and I like want people to know that it's okay to foster relationships over a long period of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's good. It builds trust and lets people know that they're not just trying to get their money, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
no, I just
So
want to support you in whatever I can. Send clients to you if I
right.
can. Like, sure, why not?
Right.
Recommend your gym, sure, I
Mm.
could do that. That's something simple for me.
For in person, do you still feel like that's the majority of your business, or do you feel like online is taking
So I'm
over?
Yep. So I'm just moving to online as of 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So all of my business this year has been in person, or I mean, I've met them in person. We might do
Right.
video calls,
Mhm.
but I've met all of my people in person in Las Vegas. But I am
Mm.
transitioning so I can scale, right? And I think that's important to scale your business. But first, how do you support yourself so you don't have to get a job?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's awesome that you live in Las Vegas. Do you think that other cities that maybe aren't so big, is there still as much opportunity to create a business and clientele locally?
Absolutely. I definitely think that there's always an opportunity to work with clients locally.
Mm.
Even if it's like 5 or 6 clients locally that you can get, make them write you a Yelp review, make them write you a Google review, review your Facebook page. Like all of that stuff is super important. That way, when you are trying to scale your business, you
Mhm.
have some reviews for people to look at, and like people maybe even connect. Sometimes I connect, like, would you like to talk to one of my clients that I've worked with before? And they're
Mm.
like, yeah. And so I ask my clients if that's okay.
Mm.
And, sometimes they do that. I think that having a few people in your life who are in your community that you can work with and then begin to develop your portfolio essentially will help you when you decide to scale.
Mm. No, that's powerful. So we talked about alignment, getting that foundation. That's super important. Getting in alignment with your mind, body, and spirit. And then we also talked about, hey, like what's kind of the mindset to be approaching when you're offering your services, and to be able to be confident, to be saying like, hey, this is my purpose. This is why I'm here. I'm here to share this with you. And we talked about like business growth, and local strategies are really awesome. So in terms of like really growing a business and being successful in business, what are some other strategies that you think would be necessary for people to succeed in business that you're noticing have worked for you, have worked for your clients?
I think it's really focusing on your target market,
Mm.
making sure that you can be your authentic self, You don't have to be anyone else, right? Sometimes I cuss, sometimes I tell stories. Like, that's just who I am. And I can be this person. I don't have to be someone else. I don't have to be more professional, whatever that means, and still add value to people's life. When you can be your authentic self and you know who your target market is, who your clients are, I think that that is like the biggest strategy or the biggest chunk of time and commitment that you need to take to scale and grow your business. And also developing partnerships. I think developing partnerships is key. I don't know everything. I'm a coach, right? I'm not, I don't know anything else. I'm not a social media person. I'm not anything else. I'm not an accountant, whatever. So it is okay to develop partnerships that support your business in areas that you don't know. You do not have to be an expert in everything. And I think that it can feel like that as a solopreneur, right? Like, oh, I have to know all of these things, but really partnerships are key. Like, I've been able to make partnerships with people as a trade, right? I'll coach you, you do this for me. And that has been like incredible for my business. So I would say partnership matters a lot.
Yeah. Or even, sending people their way. If you're able to, refer people to them and they end up being a client, then that's like, hey, can I get my service for free since I'm sending you people who are paying the bills?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that happens to me too. Like, the people who build my website, the Buzz brand, they're amazing. And I send all of my clients to them because why wouldn't I? Right. And so they're like, okay, we got you, girl, because like I'm sending them business. Every time I have a client who's starting their own business, they're the first people that I recommend. And so like things like that, partnerships that are meaningful on both sides, right? It's powerful for them and their business, and it helps me too.
Yeah. And one of the other things that you said is become like a local leader, become a leader in your community. Tell us more about like how that became a priority and important for you. And you got this co-working space. Tell us a little bit more about why that was important and a key part of your journey.
Yeah. So with Writing with Corey and Candice, that was an opportunity for my best friend and I to interview women in our backseat, where the women get to tell their own stories. So we were tired of people saying, oh, you live in Las Vegas? We know what you do. I was like, no, actually, you have no idea what I do. So let's not make assumptions. We're going to let all the women tell their own story. And there's some of us who are in entertainment industry, nightlife industry. That is true. But you're going to hear it from us if we are, right? And so there's a lot of value in the women here in Las Vegas that I think gets immediately discredited. And so through that, we decided to host an event. We're like, okay, like this is cool that we're interviewing people, but we need to get all these badass women together. So we partnered with a local restaurant owner, and she allowed us to use her restaurant every other month for one evening, kind of like on one of her slow nights, to invite all of these women in. And so we invited women in, and basically are taking our car ride interviews in front of a live audience. So basically do that. And through that, I think we were able to position ourselves as leaders, because people are like, there are cool women in Las Vegas who have started something incredible. 100 women come every time. Like, you have to get your ticket fast. It sells out. Space is limited. And people are like, wow, like this is really cool. And I get to hear stories from other women every time. So I'm just like, every time I'm coming, I'm being introduced to a new person, just like what you're doing, right? Introducing people to new people all the time. And so I think that really allowed people to build trust, like to say, oh, like these women are cool. They're legit. They care about us as people, and they care about our businesses. And so that's how I was able to position myself as a leader, but it came from an authentic need, which I think is really important. So like for me, I needed to feel connected. I moved here from LA about 7 years ago. I didn't have friends. I didn't have a community or a support group. And so I was like, I know there's amazing people here. I just don't know how to find them. And so for Corey and I, it was our own personal need to like create this community. And so now we have this community of amazing people who support us in all that we do. And so I think that if you're thinking about positioning yourself as a leader in your community, it's thinking about like, what does the community need? And that might even start with like, what do I need? Right? And how can I begin to provide that for people and demonstrate to people that, maybe I'm an expert in this area without feeling like it also has to be all about me? What value am I going to add to these people?
Right. Wow, that's powerful. So it started basically because you're like, I want connection. I want to be around like-minded people. And so you started creating events and you're like, wow, these events are awesome. And then you got this co-working space as well to like,
Yeah. So
continue to facilitate that connection and
yep. So
more
the events
people.
happen, like we do Vegas Women Connect every other month.
Uh-huh.
And so Bloom, the co-working space that I have the privilege to work out of, is is really that every day, right?
Mm,
Connecting with women entrepreneurs every single day.
wow.
And so it's pretty awesome.
Wow. Do you feel like because it's a women only co-working space, do you feel like that attracts women who are like, yes, I want that. I'm hungry for that.
Yeah, I just think it's such a different vibe.
Yeah.
Um, and it's so funny when a man walks in, everyone turns and looks because we have obviously male clients or
Right.
male business partners, whatever. So there are guys in here regularly,
Yeah.
but still, like everything kind of stops. We're like, oh. But I think that it allows us to be more of who we really are, to not
Mm,
worry about like having to look a certain way or um, present ourselves a certain way. Like we're just
mm,
comfortable being who we are, conducting business in the way that feels good to us.
mm.
I'm not trying to compete with a guy or the way that a guy is doing something. I'm gonna do it
Right.
the way that feels comfortable for me. And there's just so much love and support here. I think it's a beautiful space.
That's beautiful. So,
Yeah.
what's the vision that you see for the co-working space and the events?
Yeah, so the co-working space is not mine. Shelley Wolford owns it. She's
Hmm.
an incredible woman.
Hmm.
You should definitely ask her to be on the show. She is
All
a great
right.
story. So Shelley Wolford, she has a vision to take Bloom to the virtual space.
Mm,
So if you're not here in Las Vegas, how can you still benefit from this community of women that we've built here? And how can you, learn tips to support your business and your well-being as a woman?
mhm.
So that's what's coming up next for her,
Cool.
as well as a couple more locations in Las Vegas. So that's
Wow.
that's super exciting as well.
That's awesome.
Um, I'm sure it'll be nationwide shortly after that.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I see for myself is what I really want to do is be a connector. So have the privilege of working with a lot of amazing coaches.
Mm,
I'm actually launching a program in January called Elevated Coaches Business Accelerator.
mm,
I've worked with so many coaches this year that I've realized that there's a real need to get out the information on like how do you actually move your coaching
mhm.
business from side hustle to full-time gig. What
Right.
I did, I
Right.
want to show people how to do that, and also change the narrative that like coaches have to be at odds, right? Or coaches are each
Mm,
other's competition. That
mm,
is not the case. I don't think we're each other's competition. I think we all have our own areas of expertise and
mhm,
our own value add,
mhm,
and we connect with different audiences. And so for me, I'm bringing coaches together to help them realize that they can thrive through partnership, and then also giving them like really strategic um, action steps to take to help them build their business the way they want to.
mm.
So I think I got a little bit off, but the question was, where am I going? So
Yeah.
ultimately, in a few years, I would like to see, or let's just say 1 year, I
Mhm.
would like Elevate to literally be an agency that can connect people to their
Mm,
perfect coach.
wow.
So I'm gonna like build my partnerships with coaches around the valley and
Mm,
around the United States, and be able to say like this person would be a great fit for you because I know their background, I know their story, I know their bio, I know
mm,
what you're working on, and like I'm gonna have the perfect match coaching relationship for people. So I really want
wow.
it to be an agency where people can find what it is that they're looking for, whether it be a health coach or a business
Mhm.
coach or a life coach, any other coach that you can think of, like you can come here and I'll make the connection.
Wow, that's incredible, and I love how they're going to come to you because you are a reputable source. You have this secret sauce. You have a track record. You've been doing these live events, all this kind of stuff, and they're like, "Wow, we want to work with Candice and her agency because like we trust her." And I think that's the big
Yeah.
thing that you provide is like that trust and that
Mhm.
like about being local, about building this consistency with your events every other month, doing live and in person things that like builds trust too. So I really see that that's a big value that you champion and live, whether it's conscious or unconscious. It's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah,
I'm excited about it.
yeah. That's awesome. So as far as like the evolution of like social media and an online world, like what do you think the big challenge is in terms of being a coach online with how fast things are moving online? Like, what do you see as like one of the big challenges for coaches or even solopreneurs to
Yeah.
succeed online?
Yeah, I think the challenge is that we get stuck in a rut that we have to learn all the new things immediately. I
Hmm.
think for me, the what I have done that has served me well is build partnerships with people who do that. That's their expertise, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've made enough money that I can do that easily, right? It's not, I know when you first start your business, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't have, whatever X amount of money to pay this person to partner with. But I don't want to spend, a week learning all the new social media stuff or like
Hmm.
Facebook ads or algorithms. Like, that's not my thing. That's not what I want to do. It doesn't bring me joy. It's not my passion,
Right.
whatever. Do I
Right.
know I need it? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make enough money to pay the person who
Hmm.
loves that and is an
Yeah.
expert at that. And they're going to find that out. I'm not going to waste a month of my life trying to figure it out myself because it's just not who I am.
Hmm.
And and I also want to be able to support other people. So I think about like first I'm like, who's a women-owned business
Hmm.
who does this thing well, who this is their passion, who lives and breathes this thing, and then I partner with them. So I think that the biggest challenge is people getting detoured because they're like, okay, when I learn this, everything's gonna all fall into place, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so you like stop all of your other stuff
Hmm.
to learn the thing, and you don't have any income, and it takes you longer than you think,
Hmm.
and then you're like stuck still,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if you follow that pattern, because there's new things all the time,
Hmm.
you follow that pattern, you're just like never going to get back on track. So for me, it's like, how do you make the money and partner with the people who do that?
Hmm. Yeah, that's powerful. You know, those joint venture partnerships, strategic alliances, those kinds of things, like that will make or break people's success in business and being a solopreneur. Because if we try to think that we have to do it all, then we'll get so bogged down trying to learn everything, trying to like nickel and dime our way to,
Yes.
success. And it's like, hey, like let other people be the successful people that they like get to be in their
Yeah.
area of expertise, and either pay them what they're worth or find
Yes.
ways to incentivize them, send them clients or do trades or whatever it might be, but like really value what they do and what they've spent their time and their energy mastering so that you can focus in your lane.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I believe. And I also think that, exchanging money is an exchange of energy. And I
Mm.
think that when I support other businesses, that like, it all
Comes back.
comes
Yeah.
back around. Yeah, I absolutely believe that. And
Yeah.
so I want to be able to do that as much as possible.
Mm.
And like when you are an entrepreneur, solopreneur, and you're like holding on so tightly to every last dime,
Yeah.
then like, and money's not flowing like it's supposed to,
Right.
then it's not helpful to you and it's not helpful to your business. And
Yeah.
so how do you like operate with love and abundance, the
Mm.
mindset of love and abundance? I'm going to give to this person, I'm going to support them, they're going to support me. And
Yeah.
like, maybe it's not them, maybe it's someone else, but how do I operate with love and abundance instead of fear, lack, and scarcity?
Yes.
And I do that, I know that I'm like aligning my vision for myself.
Yeah, yeah, and like even if it's like if you had like a great conversation with Candice, for example, and you had an amazing consultation, but you say, I'm not ready or it's not time yet, but you really want to do it in the future, like send her $10, $20, $50, $100, whatever that amount is for you, whether that's with Candice or anyone who provides you value, who supports you, who gives you clarity, who
Yep.
empowers you to be more successful, like
Yep.
say thank you, like it's
Yep.
and know that there's such an amazing exchange and of energy that goes on in the world. Like trust that exchange is happening and say, I'm so grateful to support this person because they are amazing at what they do and I really, really value them and I want them to succeed. And even though it might not be what they're used to, quote unquote, getting paid or what their rates are,
It doesn't
like
matter.
it doesn't matter. It's like it makes a difference. Every bit makes a difference, and it's more about the gesture, saying, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I value you. Here's a contribution. Here's money because I appreciate what you do, and I'm looking forward to whatever we can do in the future, or going into like a bigger type of agreement or type of working together in the
Yep.
future."
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I absolutely believe that. So
yeah.
my advice would be a coach,
Mm.
be a coach,
Yes,
be a coach.
yes.
Stay in your lane.
I love it. I do want to dive into prosperity real quick. The prosperity mindset.
Yeah.
Is there any like golden nugget that you really want to share, or piece of wisdom that you feel would make a difference for the audience?
When I think about prosperity, I just think about long-term abundance, right?
Mm,
It's not about today, but how do I set myself up to live abundantly in all the ways.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm talking about money, but I'm also talking about health and well-being. So how do I set myself up now for a long-term abundance? And I think that you can do that by taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. And everyone, those things look different, right? So someone taking care of their mind, for me, it's reading. Like if I read, I know I'm taking care of my mind. I'm learning something new. Some people it's listening to podcasts, some people watching videos like this. So there's a lot of different ways you can take care of your mind, but it's like deciding what that is for you. My spirit, for me, that's praying and meditating. Yeah. I do that. Some people, it's like a walk in nature. But deciding what is spirituality to you, what can you commit to on a daily basis to feed yourself spiritually. And when I think about your body, that also looks different for people, right? Some people are maybe like walking is their thing, or going to the gym or going to yoga or whatever. Like pick something that you can do with your body each day, even if it's walking your dog, and commit to that thing. I think when you're doing those things, you're setting yourself up to live prosperously, and as well as working on your business, So when all those things are combined, you are, living your best life. And that's what I care about. I care about my clients living their best life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really love how it's like the basics, the fundamentals of taking care of yourself and like making sure you're spending the time doing those activities so that you can have that best life ever. You can have the prosperity and the abundance, because it really starts when we make that decision that I'm more committed to the self-care and making sure that no matter what I do, where I go, how life unfolds, I at least have that foundation of these regular habits and disciplines that help me create a successful life, or at least help me, feel my best regardless of what's happening.
Feel good.
Yeah.
So when you feel good, you can take action on your other goals, right? If I feel good about myself and I'm confident and, I'm where I'm supposed to be, I'm learning the things I'm supposed to learn, I can take action on my business goals. But when I'm not feeling confident about myself, when I'm not feeling worthy, when I'm not feeling good enough, I'm going to be less likely to take action on my goals on my business side. Right. And so how do you set yourself up to be able to take the actions that you need to get where you want to go?
Yeah. Powerful. So Candice, we've covered a lot in this interview, and if there were like a final takeaway or something you really want our audience to implement, if you've already said it before, say it again, let us know. What do we get to do because of this interview, because of their time invested here with us?
Yeah, I'd say set your foundation, take care of yourself first, always. That is the biggest key. When you take care of yourself, your energy will be aligned with the universe. People will be attracted to work with you. You are not acting out of desperation or fear or lack or scarcity. You know that the universe will provide when you feel good about yourself and you're taking care of yourself. So that's the biggest thing that I would say.
Beautiful. Awesome. You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. And Candice, they definitely want to stay connected with you. Yes. They want to keep growing. They want to become more prosperous, learn to love themselves more, really step into their power. How can they do that?
You can go to my website, www.elevatelifestyleconsulting.com, or you can shoot me an email. So Candice, Candice, at elevatelifestyleconsulting.com. They can stay connected. I'd love to hear from anyone.
Awesome. I love it. And awesome job, Candice. I loved hearing your story, your journey, and everything that you share about having that best life ever. We totally relate with it and resonate with it. So if you're listening or watching this right now, definitely have a conversation with Candice. See how she can support you, or even point you in the direction of someone who is the right fit for you. She's totally abundant in those connections, in those partners, and who she knows. And she's a total powerhouse. I'm so excited to grow our relationship when I move out to Vegas, and just really love what you're doing, Candice. Love how you're empowering women and just showing up. You're a powerhouse.
Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited. Congrats on what you're doing. It's amazing.
Thank you, Candice. We'll see you soon, okay?
Okay.